Hello everyone, this is Vikas. So from today onwards we'll make a separate series for Pandas, and we have already know that Pandas, it's a library which is used to do some data slicing operations. And moreover, there is one very important thing. If we want to bring the data inside the Jupyter environment, so we need Pandas, and it's a library which is an open source library. Now let's go, and we would make series for the Pandas so that we can understand each and every operations of Pandas. Now before going through the Pandas, first we have to understand, okay, that how to import Pandas. Okay, how to import Pandas. So in Jupyter environment, and we have already know that if we want to perform any operations, so Jupyter is it's our ID. Now the code is here. I have given the statement as import Pandas in Jupyter Notebook environment, so it would be more clear to you guys. Now it's simple. If we use this hash sign, so this line would become unexecutable. Okay, now which statement would be used to import the Pandas? Which is, it is import Pandas, and to execute this we have to make sure that our cursor should be inside, cursor falling inside this code of chunks. Okay, and we have to type shift and enter. Okay, it's not typing, we have to press shift and enter button together. Once we do that, see here, it's a star mark, it is executing, means Pandas is imported inside this Jupyter environment. Once it is done, it will show some numeric numbers like 1 or 2 or 3. Now you can just assume over here it shows 1, means this is the first line of code being executed in this Jupyter Notebook environment. Okay, now we have to load the dataset, because if you have to work with any kind of data set, so definitely you have data in the form of Excel, which has different extensions like .csv, which is comma separated values. Then we have Excel, which has extension of .xlsx and .xls. So there are different things are there. So currently I have one this is Excel file which has extension of .xls. Okay, and if we are confused in that, so why not we can go to that our working directory, and this is my data set which is housing. Okay, this is housing underscore Excel. Now you can just check this out. If extension, okay, how to check this extension of this housing underscore Excel, you can just click on the properties, and in this properties you can just check this out. It has an extension of .xlsx. Sometimes we have to refer the name of dataset, so you can just copy from here also, because sometimes that file name or a dataset name would be like 1qcr, and that doesn't mean anything. Okay, it has some directory root folder extensions or directory root folder name and all, so you can just quickly go over there and just copy this, and then you can just make sure that check the extensions, because we have to write the extensions. Okay, and we know that the extension is .xlsx. So I have copied this housing underscore Excel. Okay, now again I'll go for this. Here I'll just write Pandas. Okay, it's correct, Pandas dot read underscore, and this is Excel because the extension is .xlsx. Okay, now I'll just inside this inverted comma I have to give this housing underscore Excel, because this is the name of file, then xlsx. Once we execute this, again it shows star mark, means it is loading, and once it is loaded means this data set is loaded, and I have named this housing underscore Excel .xlsx as a data set. So you can name anything over here. You can write data 1, data 2, or as per your own convenience. Okay, now there is one thing which I would like to tell you, because here I have just shown you import Pandas. Okay, now second, you can just write it as a import Pandas as PD. Okay, because sometimes what happen, always writing this pandas, some calling name if we use, and using this calling name, if we have only 2 letters instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 letters, so which one is convenient for you? Definitely it would be 2 letters. So the same operation, whichever operations we have done over here, the same operations we can also do using this. So we can just write dataset, then we can just write pd.read underscore excel, and then inside this double quote, okay, always make sure that if you are loading any dataset, so after this parenthesis you have to write the double quote, and inside this you have to write the file name. So housing underscore excel dot xlsx, we have given this and we have executed. Now again it will do the same operations, whatever operations we have done using this pandas.read underscore excel, same operations has been done using this pd.read underscore excel. So let's understand why we have used this import pandas as pd, because the calling name for pandas as pd, okay, this is the short form. Instead of the 6 letter we have to use only 2 letters. So pd is the calling name, okay, pd is the calling name. I'm sure you understand this. So next time onwards, we when we are importing the pandas, we have to make sure that we have to use this pd statement. Okay. Now this is very important, that once we have loaded any data set, so we have to make sure that data set is loaded properly or not. So we have to just write the dataset name. In case over here I have used my dataset name as a dataset only. So once I write this and I have execute, so I have written this data set. Okay, after executing it will show the complete columns and rows. But here you can just check this out. If we'll check the dimensions of this data set, which shows 20,640 rows and 10 columns. So it's not feasible to show all the rows, so it has shown the first 5 rows and last 5 columns. I'm sorry, it shows the first 5 rows and last 5 rows. Okay, and it also shows the columns. You can just check this out, it shows all the columns. Here we have one slider available. You can just check this out. Here we have a slider, and because we cannot accommodate more than 8 to 10 columns, okay, so this is the reason we have a slider available. You can just check this out. Now the better way, that because it is taking lots of space, so same operations could be done using this dataset.head. Once we give this head, it will show the very first 5 rows from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, because Python starts from 0. That's the reason the index is 0 over here. Explicitly, if we mention over here as a 10, it will show the first 10 records or first 10 rows. So in terms of data science, we called row as a records, okay, and column as a variables, and features also sometimes we are referring. So depending on the data scientist, they are referring those terms. Now here we have used this head 10, so it is showing me total 10, and this is the very first 10 rows. Now if we just remove this, so by default it would show only 5 rows. So please make sure that once you are loading any data set, make sure that you just check the first 5 rows and first 5 columns. So in that case, you'd be confident that your data is properly loaded in Jupyter environment or not. Because sometimes what happen, if you have executed this statement and there will be some discrepancy in your data or in while loading that dataset forms, and when you start building model or doing some operations, at that time it will show some error. So why not you can preactively use that and correct those errors. So that's the reason you have to check the first header. Okay, make sure that we should write check the header, and here I'll just write check the tail. Okay, so how to check the tail? We can just write it as a dataset dot tail. So in this case, it will show me the very last 5 rows. So in this way, we can load the data set which has extension of .xlsx or .xls and which has a Excel file. Thank you so much, guys, and we would make a series of pandas, and in that case we can understand each and every activity which pandas is doing, and which actually makes ease for our data science operations. Thank you so much, and please do subscribe and please do like the video if you like this video.